Hi guys. Sorry it's been a while. Kind of been rushing around doing stuff. This is my 21 20 week 2021 week update. I had my doctor's appointment yesterday, and I don't know if I said in my last video, but when we had our ultrasound at 19 weeks 19 weeks 1 day. The ultrasound tech was new. I don't know if she had just gotten out of training or whatever, but she said it was like one of her first times. So, this is idiotic on their part. And, like, my appointment was supposed to be at 10 o'clock. So, we had dropped Gabriel off at school around 8:30. And I had to get something to eat. And then we went and caught the bus. So I ate around 9 o'clock. And he was moving after that. And, so I know I said he's a boy in my last video, but, he was moving around after that. By the time they got us in there, it was almost like 12 o'clock. And then she was like, well, is he moving? Because he's sleeping. I'm like, she was like, when was the last time you asked? Like 9 o'clock. I was like, thinking on their part, duh, if I ate at 9 o'clock and you don't get me in there to 3 hours later, of course he's not going to be moving. Like, it's freaking common sense, people. Like, it was just really, and she's like, she's gonna like wrap it on my stomach with the little ultrasound probe thingy. He would not move. He would not wake up. And I'm like, yeah, he's just like his father. He doesn't get up until a certain time. Like when Lee's off of work and stuff, he's kind of slow. But sorry, my eye itched. Anyway, she was going through getting all the measurements and stuff, and of course, when she asked the sex, we were like, duh. Like, I know we had planned to do the whole anniversary thing, but I couldn't wait. My mom was like flipping out royally that she had to know now. And I was like, okay, so we found out. Anyway, he was spread eagle, like all the way, so no doubt that's a boy. And well, she couldn't, the way he was laying, well, he was head down, but I think he was kind of laying sideways, so she couldn't get his heart and his spine really good. And then I had brought up the thing, we don't know which side, if it's from Lee or his ex-wife. Two of his oldest two daughters one had 12 fingers and one had 11 fingers. And the last granddaughter had 12 fingers. So we don't know what side it came from. It was never brought up, or because we're thinking it's hereditary. But they couldn't see his hands real good on the sides because, well, his one fist was clenched and they couldn't even see his other one. So they started, well, as soon as she, like, I don't know if you guys, like, when you watch the baby shows and everything on, like, Discovery Health, they'll sit there and they're like, something's wrong when the technician goes, I'll be right back, and they leave the room. And then of course, I start flipping out, like, so then they bring another ultrasound tech back in. She couldn't find his hands either. So then they kept asking all these questions. And they brought another one in. So there was like 3 ultrasound techs trying to find. They couldn't get a good picture of his heart because of the way he was laying. So then, of course, they look at my chart and they see about my cerebral palsy. So then they start ordering all these tests. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, none of this stuff has nothing to do with my CP. My CP is not hereditary, so it wouldn't be passed on to him. And, there's a lot of people that don't get good pictures of the heart when they go in for their gender scan. And that's why they always order another one, which, of course, they ordered another follow-up one, which I have this coming Tuesday. But, they started ordering, ordered genetics counseling, which if you know any, we've been trying to conceive for a while, and even before I knew a lot of it, you don't do genetic counseling when you're already pregnant. It's kind of pointless. Because if the baby already has something, baby already has something. That's to go over risk and stuff in of family history, that this is possibly what could happen if you had a baby. Well, there's nothing in our family history that constitutes having genetic counseling. My CP is not hereditary, and the whole 12-finger thing I've already discussed with my doctor, and it's not like a lifelong condition. What they do is, if he does have it when he's born, they take him off. Well, now they do it with lasers. So there's no bone in him or anything, so it doesn't hurt the baby or anything, and it's not that big of a deal. And so then they ordered me, like, oh, because you have CP, they wanted me to get a maternal echocardiogram. Now, this is totally unnecessary when it has nothing to do with my CP. I've never had any heart problems in the past, so why would I have them now? Because I'm pregnant again. I didn't have them with Gabriel. And then they wanted me to get a fetal echocardiogram because they couldn't get a picture of his heart. Well, around here they are so stupid when it comes to where they do certain stuff. And, the hospital I'm delivering at is supposed to be one of the best ones in the county and in the state, practically. Why don't they do it there? They were trying to send me to, like, 2 towns I've never heard of, which, when you use public transportation, it's a little difficult to get to begin with. And then the only time I'll be able to go is on Fridays when Lee's off of work, because I cannot go by myself, especially to a place I have no idea where it's at. So they're like, well, these are only recommendations. Talk to your doctor, blah, 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 which we pretty much ruled out the genetic counseling because that's kind of stupid anyway. So, like I said, they set up another ultrasound to do, they need his spine, his heart, his hands, and a couple other pictures they couldn't really get because of the way he was laying. Well, next time maybe they'll be smarter and get me in when I was supposed to be in there instead of 2 hours later. So, okay. Anyway, I went to the doctor. Yes, my doctor's appointment was yesterday. All my spinal blood work for spinal deformities and everything came back negative. I had asked her about if they said anything in the ultrasound results about his head, because when they were in there, they kept measuring his head, and they kept measuring his head, and I kept asking if anything was wrong with his head. They wouldn't answer me. And, I'm so informative about this stuff that, it kind of scares me when they don't say nothing, because then you start wondering if something's wrong with him. And because they kept asking about the Down syndrome test, and I said we were already cleared for that. And so my doctor said, well, his brain is measuring fine, his head looked good. And I said, if he does have a big head, it's because his father had a big head when he was born. So, she just said, regarding the maternal echocardiogram, I don't need one, it's ridiculous. Genetic counseling, she said, skip. Like, well, I already knew that. She said with the fetal echocardiogram, if they don't get pictures of the heart at the next ultrasound on Tuesday, that we might want to, she said it's not necessarily needed because she doesn't think there's anything wrong with his heart. Because his heartbeat has never been low or nothing. And she said, to be on the safe side, we might want to go get that done. But she gave us another place that's not as far and that we kind of know how to get to anyway. So if we have to do that, we have to do that to make sure he's okay. I'm almost out of time because I'm rambling. I'll go and make another video about my symptoms and everything else these past 2 weeks. And I'll see you guys in a minute. Bye.